Welcome to 300 Thoughts. Now, I make it no secret that I read some manga of the Isekai nature, and I've done a whole video of that, which I don't think anyone's really watched it. But I was reading one recently, and it had a very compelling villain. And I'm not really going to get into the details of the Isekai very much, but I like this villain. It's something I had not seen before that I can think of, and so I want to talk about that. Now, there's a saying that even a villain is a hero in their own story, that they do what they feel is right. This particular story was called, I think, The Faraway Paladin. They take like 20 episodes to explain why it's called that. Don't worry about that. But the main character, it's a fantasy universe. There's gods and monsters. And the main character is, of course, protagonist who died from our world and got raised in this fantasy world. But he's raised by these undead creatures. A ghost, a skeleton, and a mummy. And when he comes of age, the god of undeath comes to claim his guardians. And so there was the first conflict. He also becomes now the god of undeath is the villain of this whole piece. Now, this is where the big conflict happens, but what I really like about this character is that usually when you see him, he's classified as an evil god. And they also go into the morality of they're only considered evil gods because they're on the other side of a disagreement. And in this case, he's got the viewpoint of that he doesn't like seeing suffering. He doesn't like seeing people die alone. He doesn't like seeing people cry out. And so he wants to give them a second chance. And that's how the Guardians came about, is because they were in a dire situation and needed help. And so he prolonged their life by giving them undead bodies. But that's what his whole gig is. There's even a scene with the hero at one point in a cemetery with a friend. The friend's like, shouldn't we be afraid we're in a cemetery? And the god of death might like, he's like, no, because these are all people who've been cared for. They passed on peacefully. They moved on. And of course, this the paladin character he's of the viewpoint that yes, people do need to die. People need to move on. And that's again why those two are on different sides. So he respects the evil god villain, but is on the opposite side of him. And I like that. I don't think I've ever seen a death incarnate type character that was a caring one, except maybe Neil Gaiman's Sandman series. In there, death is seen as a caring character. I've not read that series, so I don't know the full details. But it is an interesting aspect that I don't see explored very often. I usually see it seen as evil and horrific, and then they don't show why someone would pursue that path. That's my thought. When you're writing a villain, make sure that they believe what they're doing is heroic, and that makes it all more intriguing. That's my thought. Have a good one.